Hey, it's Jason from Bohemia Bees, and it's almost spring here on the eastern shore of Maryland. We're going to take a look and see how many of our colonies made it through the winter, and really what we need to do to maybe bolster them for the next few weeks while we're still going through the last few weeks of winter, to make sure that they have enough resources to get to where the pollen and nectar flow comes here in the eastern shore of Maryland, typically about mid to late March. When the maples will bud. But stay tuned on this video because you're going to want to watch what we do here on the eastern shore of Maryland to make sure that our colonies are good and tight for getting through the remaining part of this winter. Stay tuned. So we are taking a look at our colonies that we've overwintered here on the eastern shore of Maryland. Many of you may recognize this is one of our pollination carts that we have. It's about, 55, 60 degrees today, maybe a little below 60, but it's still getting warmer. And the bees now are taking some cleansing flights because most people don't know, but bees, when they go into a cluster in the wintertime inside that colony, they don't really move around. They just kind of keep the brood nest warm, and they feed on the resources. That's the honey that's in the colony that they've stored up. These bees, as you can see, there's a lot of activity at the entrances. You can see down here at a few of these other colonies. They look pretty strong. We're going to keep an eye on them for robbing. That's a key thing. I'll put a video link in the description below that you want to make sure you keep an eye on your colonies for robbing. This one looks like they're cleaning out some of their dead here. I see some wax cappings, maybe a little bit of wax cappings, maybe not too much to worry about, but I'm going to keep an eye on it because I want to make sure that they are not robbing. Another colony is not coming in here and robbing out any remaining honey. But you can see our different colony setups that we have here. Now, these are our commercial colonies that we've used for pollination, which is why they have the cleats on the side. So most, as you know, styles of colonies do not have those cleats. They have the handled holds. But these are mainly so that we can lift them on and off the cart as we use them for pollination. So this cart has, as you can see, several colonies, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, about 14 colonies that were remaining on this. It holds about 20. We had a 14 go in the winter. So we're going to take a look and see what our survival rate is without really getting into the colonies. Let's take a look at some more on the other side. All right, so we have these bees right here. They look to be doing very well. We've got one Apimaye colony on this cart. They're doing well as well. Look like they made it through, which was great. Look pretty strong. We can take a look at this one quickly. Do a quick peek. You see our screened inner cover. They built a lot of propolis on these inner covers, and I really like that they do that because we're learning a lot this year about propolis and how important it is for the propolis envelope. I've not lifted this cover off since late fall because I don't want to break that propolis envelope, and you can see what that looks like. It's such a beautiful array of colors in propolis, but you can look down how healthy this colony is. Look down inside there. They're solid full of bees, and they're coming and going out the front and cleaning up their colony. We put this layer on top to help with the heat retention, and then underneath our covers. Let's go ahead and close that up. Okay, so here's another one. This is a double deep. Do a quick peek. This one did not have an inner cover on it. We must have pulled it off. But you can see up top in the deep, their girls are right in there working those center frames already all the way up top, probably harvesting a lot of that honey that may be in the top for some late resources. Good sign, good sign. Good activity at the front entrance. You're going to see a little bit of nosema here and there, or really just poop. Because remember, they're doing cleansing flights. They're doing cleansing flights so that they can get rid of all those digested honey and pollen, all the things that they've eaten in the hive through the winter. And now they're coming out and they're orienting in the air. If you can see them up here, they're going straight up in the air from the colony. They're circling about, and then they're pooping. They're defecating on the ground. So all the tops of the lids of the covers you're going to see this orangey substance. And that's bee poop. I think I just got hit by some bee poop, see? Bee poop. Let me get out of the the process. All right, so now we're in one of our other yards. Let's take a look at some of these colonies. This is another one of our pollination carts. And then we have the Apimae pollination cart. We got a bunch of hives back here. Let's go take a look and see how they fared. All right, so you can see we got great activity. This one has no activity. Let's take a peek. But there's a lot of bees still up in the top up there. So we're gonna make sure that they have an upper entrance still open so they can get out. Just not a lot at the entrance. These all have great activity in front of them. There's our queen right dial, so we know what we had coming in and out last year. See? This one was, we thought this one was dead. I mean, look at all those cappings. We're like, what is going on here? There must be some robbing going on. Look up in here, look at all those. We have some small hive bees on there we gotta take care of too. All right, folks, this is the one that had the lid that flipped off in our prior video. This one, as you can see, there's some activity at the front entrance. Not a lot of activity, but there's still activity. As we come underneath, let's take a look at these ladies. Look, see, they're still doing quite well in there. Trying to get my camera to focus, but really can't. There you go. All right, so these are our Apimae colonies. We'll probably do a separate video on these as we talk about the survivability rate using this type of colony. And so we've got a cart here that we've overwintered some bees, and the Apimae will see pretty strong colonies, you know, coming out of winter already. So we're gonna take a look and see what they are and get into them a little deeper on another video. But the Apimaes look pretty good too. All right, so here's one of our test yards. Looks like we've got a good solid colony here. There's an Apimae again, good colony. We do have a colony here that had a robbing screen on it. They have an upper entrance if they need it. So good to go there. Solid colony there. This one looks a little quiet, but the fact that I see some stuff around the exit, oh, look at that. They've built some propolis. So they're still alive in there, still doing their thing. And then we got colonies down here that look pretty active as well. And then of course, coming down to our long hive down here, they're coming and going on that as well. So that tells me that there's active colonies in there. So, well, quick tour of the apiary. We still got a couple pallets we need to check over there, but for the most part, we're really excited about what we're seeing coming out of winter. This is okay. So as you can see, going through a lot of the colonies, we didn't get to every one of them. We've got a couple more pallets we have to look at, another bench I wanted to get to. We have an out yard too as well that we didn't get to as well. I'll go check that at another time. But for the most part, all the colonies that we have here on our property at Bohemia Apiary seem to be pretty strong. We've lost maybe half a dozen, I think, out of all of them, which is pretty good numbers considering we had about 100 colonies. So, so far so good. This is a critical time for beekeepers. If you're a new beekeeper and you have had your first overwintered colony, this is a very critical time. Get in there, make sure they've got enough weight on. Weight, you can just grab the back of that hive, make sure it's still heavy. If it's still heavy, they got some resources to work on. We're gonna have a nectar and pollen flow probably kicking in here, like I said, about the middle of March when the maples start to bloom. So hopefully we can make it to that point in time, but we still have another 4 to 5, maybe 6 weeks of winter. And we are hoping that we can get our bees through that. But a critical time, make sure they have enough food resources at this point. Try not to crack into those hives. Even on a warm day like this, you're eager to get in, you know, break open those hives. I would say if we're Bruce down in Alabama, from Bruce's Bees, he's breaking into his hives already, checking out what he's got. But, you know, Ohio, Castle Hives, and Brian and Castle Hives, and even Greg at Nature's Image Farm, and others like myself here in the Northeast, the northern part of that country, we're still keeping those colonies or watching them. We're checking them as we can, as limited, getting into them as limited as possible, making sure they have enough stores to get through the winter. That's what we're doing here on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. If you're a beekeeper and you're in the Eastern Shore of Maryland, just hang tight, got a couple more weeks. If you're not, you're a little more south and it's a little warmer, get into those bees. Make sure that they're ready for going into spring for your nectar flow. But here on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, beekeeping for us, well, it's not that busy right now, but it's still, well, it's still more than a hobby. It's an obsession. Thanks for watching, everyone.